35-14. I mean, that's the most points against you as a head coach at the Air Force Academy. We couldn't find the last time Air Force. I mean, really, most everybody thought the game was over. The only people that believed were the coaches and the players.
Well, you better believe it. And, you know, give a lot of credit to Utah because they have an outstanding offensive football team. And you know, we knew they had great speed and we knew they had great receivers. And certainly Edgar has proven himself as a passer. But just to be honest with you, the first half, John, we didn't play our defense very well. And we didn't execute some of the basic techniques and fundamentals that we, you know, take great pride in doing. And that got us in trouble, just to be honest with you.
All right, let's go right out to the second half. And it was a different story. Here we go. They kick off to you.
They have to kick off to us, and a fine return here by Tommy. And, you know, we averaged 29, almost 30 yards per kickoff return, and Tommy gets it back up to midfield, and then we don't use real good judgment there. And we try to lateral that ball off, and I know Tommy, just because of the competitive nature that he is, you know, we thought we were trying to maybe have a big play out of that, but we were fortunate to get that ball back.
Well, you haven't panicked. You know, you're down by 3 touchdowns, but you haven't panicked.
Well, here's Pat coming in again. Jimmy reading the option extremely well, and, you know, our offense had 488 yards. It looked like the offense of O, you know. And, no, I think that coming in and taking and putting it points on the board, you know, and driving that ball down and getting a score really gave our kids the confidence that we needed.
And your defense started playing much better.
Well, great rush here by Speedwalk and by Ty and by Chad right there. And, you know, that's something we hadn't done the first half. We had 4 sacks the second half, and I told him, you know, if we'd had 4 sacks the first half, we'd had 8 for a game, and that's pretty doggone good. But, again, that shows the intensity level we picked up. Jimmy, again, keeping on the option and proving himself as a runner.
Albert Booker, you keep seeing more and more of him. He gets into the end zone, and, boy, you're back in this game.
We're back into it. We really are, and Albert had a fine effort right there, an individual effort. And, you know, John, we had 6 drives in the ball game for over 50, all over 55 yards.
Boy, unbelievable. Eddie Johnson with another fine run right here.
Well, Michael Tolliver stripped that ball there, and Kevin Martin, you know, was Johnny on the spot, and of course that stopped a big drive. And then we've been setting this play up, and John, if you remember, this is the play we had so wide open against Colorado State. But this time Jimmy hits Frank Martini, and it's a 52-yard play there, and of course gets us in great scoring position. And then Quentin Roberts is in there spelling Pat because he had so much playing time there the other night, and of course, you know, he's such a durable young man, built so low to the ground, and of course we're just as excited for him as he is there.
35-35, and you're going great. And Mark, your kicking game, I thought, was a big difference too.
Well, we outkicked them almost 8 yards per kick, and I watch this coverage right here. Great coverage down there, and E.J. and Nate Cunningham, oh boy, and we had great coverage all night. We really did.
Yeah, and your defense is really coming together nice.
Well, there's E.J., a great break on the ball, and we started breaking on the ball good the second half there, and we almost had the interception, but E.J. had three strips there. But this is a big play right here, and they had a drive going. Michael Gant, who in a nickel coverage there, steps in front and takes the interception, and of course that's Larry Edgar making the tackle there.
Well, you pitched to Booker, and he shows that good speed around the right side. You got another good drive going.
Boy, Albert has given us a dimension outside. He and Mark Manafo, and, you know, he got a little cramp there and turned his ankle just a little bit. But then, boy, what a fine effort by Pat again. And, of course, Pat's causing some people there to miss him in the open field. But we ran 3 plays and had 4th and 1. I thought we better kick that field goal.
And Chris Blasey did a fine job for you. This next play, though, this is another big play right here. This is designed.
Big play. Yes, this is what we call our sky kick. We'll try a beautiful kick, bounces right there on the 21-yard line, and then being on turf, you know, makes that ball extremely hard to handle. And when it hits, it bounces. And, of course, there's Kevin Hughes down there, and, you know, that was the big play in the ball game because now we've got the ball deep in their own territory. We're only ahead by 3 points, but time is a real big factor right now. And then Jimmy takes the ball down and executes the option perfectly down to the last man. Mark takes the ball in the end zone, and that puts us up by 10 with very little time remaining.
All right, you're up. There it is, 45-35. We've got to show one more play because this is history right here.
Well, this is a big play, and of course, you know, the only thing they can do to get back into the game is go real deep, and of course, that's the time that you can really play defense and lay back. And Tommy comes up with his interception, and that gives him number 16, and of course, gives him the school record.
I got to believe, Coach, that a victory like this really has got to be a great confidence builder.
Oh, I think so. And, you know, again, John, we're such a young football team, but we are growing each week. I thought our offense made an awful lot of improvement. Our defense has an awful lot of pride, you know, and they're not going to let that happen to them very many times. And, again, when we settled down and started playing our game, we played very well. But I thought our kicking game dominated their kicking game all night. And when you do that, most of the time you're going to be successful.
Great victory. We're going to come back with our regular features, a look at life at the Academy. We'll meet an assistant coach and a player up close. We'll have that right after this. Attends 3 quarterback clubs every week.
Oh, well, it's an exciting time, John, and they mean so much to our program and support our young men so much that I really look forward each week of visiting with them.
All right, here's Lee Douglas with a look at the Air Force and quarterback club.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Fisher Deberry. I don't know how many of you know this, but you're all on television today.
But TV cameras aren't the reason some 200 Falcon fans decided to spend their lunch at the Embassy Suites this past Tuesday. It's the regular meeting of the Colorado Springs Quarterback Club, and I think it's safe to say Fisher Deberry may be the busiest college coach in the country. As far as we know, he's the only one who goes to 3 quarterback club meetings a week.
Well, you know, we enjoy, man. We appreciate so much the tremendous support that we get from our quarterback club here in Colorado Springs, the quarterback club on the Academy, our Academy community. And then, of course, I go to Denver on Thursday, and, of course, that quarterback club has been in existence as long as the football program has at the Academy. So these are our true friends, you know, whether we win or whether we lose. You know, these are the friends that really care about our young men and appreciate what's happening in Falcon football.
The Colorado Springs Club is actually much younger than the one Fisher mentioned up in Denver, but it's growing by leaps and bounds. It's now in its 5th year. Back in '81, the group was organized by Executive Director and President Tom Rattery. Back then, there were 14 members. Now it's up to 733, and these members are treated to a bit of Falcon football that the average fan doesn't see.
They're entertained. There's no challenge for them. They can come here and they know that they're going to get the straight word from Fisher.
We try to share with them the same things basically that we share with our players, where we, you know, did good, where we need to improve, and what we've got to work on this week.
And the quarterback club returns that support to the Falcons many times over. The end-of-the-year awards banquet, the record attendance this year, that has a lot to do with the quarterback club. And if you're interested in becoming a member, join us for the next meeting, Tuesday at 11:30 at the Embassy Suites, and Tom will set you up. For Air Force Football 86, I'm Lee Douglas.
And Tom told me he wanted to invite everybody. Like Lee said, really, they're the 12th man.
Oh, you better believe it. And, you know, we just really wouldn't have the program that we have if it wasn't for the tremendous support that we get here. And, of course, I think, you know, their enthusiasm for Falcon football is contagious to the rest of the community.
All right, Coach, right now we're going to meet another one of Fisher Deberry's coach, assistant wide receivers coach Sammy Steinmark. Here's a look at Sammy. Now in his 5th season on the Air Force staff, receivers coach Sammy Steinmark is the only homegrown assistant coach. He played his high school ball at Cherry Creek in Denver, and Sammy is a holdover from the Ken Hatfield staff who had a chance to leave the academy.
Well, at the time that Kenny went to Arkansas, you know, I was raised a Longhorn all my life, so it's kind of tough to be a Razorback. But at the same time, probably the biggest reason I stayed here was because of Fisher and the Air Force Academy and the administration that we have here with Colonel Clune and General Scott. And I mean, you can't find a better place in the country.
Sammy learned very early in life that family and having people who care make all the difference. His older brother Freddie was an All-American at Texas who got cancer, had his left leg amputated, and before he died was an inspiration to his family and anybody who knew him.
No one promised us tomorrow, you know, and I think the man upstairs really wants people to treat people like they'd like to be treated, and at the same time, you know, if you have a chance to tell somebody that you love them, you better do it, because nobody has promised you tomorrow. And that's probably the biggest lesson, and it hit home hard with me at that point in time in my life, because I was in the 9th grade at the time when he died, and I was going into my sophomore year, and I was in 8th grade when he had his leg amputated, and at that time I had no concept of what was going on or life, and it's tough to be accountable at that age, I think. But at the same time, the lessons you learn about life in a situation like that, and I think sometimes people get to feel sorry for themselves, and I watched what he went through, and there wasn't a day I can remember where he felt sorry for himself.
And what's down the road for Sammy Steinmark?
It's one thing I learned from Freddie a long time ago, too, is I think that goals are real personal. But at the same time, I can see myself staying here for a long time just because I enjoy the kids. And I tell my kids that every day that, you know, one of the biggest reasons I like coaching at the academy is because all the players that I'm coaching are smarter than I am. So I enjoy that, and I enjoy being here. Even my parents tell me the first time my mother shook Coach Deberry's hand, she could tell he was a genuine guy, and I think that's the quality this staff has. It is a big family, and I don't think you could work for Fisher Deberry unless you were that way.
What a guy.
Oh, boy, and what a blessing, Sammy and Karen and little Freddie Joe and Tiffany.
It's her birthday Wednesday, too, Coach.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, great. But what a blessing Sammy's been, and we were so appreciative of him staying. But, you know, John, he's such a great football coach, and he's so enthusiastic in his work and what he does. But our players really love him because he really cares about them.
All right, Coach, now we're going to get a chance to meet Steve Hendrickson, the big left guard for the Air Force Falcons. Here again, Lee Douglas.
I would imagine thus far in this young Air Force football season, the highlight has to be that 40